Peace, family. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome and welcome back. I hope everybody's having a marvelous day. I'm just laying down, about to smoke, listening to Brother Panic, and I have not forgot about the other parts of the lecture that we left off on, but I'm listening to this one today, and I just wanted to come on and vibe with you guys. So hopefully some of you all are up with me. And yeah, we're just gonna hang out. Again, peace, peace, peace. I'm gonna go ahead and start the video. And yeah. So he's basically talking about the political agenda. Then he eventually gets into Kalima. So we're just gonna take the astro trip with him. We're just gonna listen. Hit that like button for me, family, and subscribe if you're not already. And a special shout out to all of my new subscribers. I appreciate you all. Make sure y'all go follow me on Instagram as well, as I will start going live there more often too. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. What's stated? What's the result that you're supposed to think? Oh, they fucked up. They put Donald Trump in. Oh, that's good. Oh, like the other guy. It's good. He's making them work for it. And all of this shit. Hidden thing you think you figured out and it's revealed. That's mind control on the hook. Because once you feel you figured out the hidden agenda, stop. You don't look at the secret agenda, which is the spiritual money that they pay, the spiritual balance that they're trying to create. And the hidden agenda is to destroy the white man's image through Donald Trump, show that he's a baby, show that he's those hissy fits, shows that he's egotistical, insecure, a giant baby. That's all he ever were. That's why Howard Stern is famous. Ridiculousness is famous. This syndrome of white boys in their Peter Pan thing, getting facelifts because they don't want to grow up. Because they don't want to grow up. White women hate getting old because what they're really saying is we can't transform. The stated agenda, I hate wrinkles. The hidden agenda, well, guys won't like me. The secret agenda is because they cannot move on to anything else. This is all they got. And psychologically, they know it. But all things physically have been made for them to be psychologically sound in this place. While the agenda was for black people to create an idea of we need to do something, to accomplish something. Giving you names like the first black anything. You were the first black everything before there was a white anything. And for them to even call you the first black anything is fucking laughable. It's laughable. But if you accept this mentality, what you're really accepting, the hidden agenda and the secret agenda, is that you're not whole. There is something, the hidden agenda will be all the paths that you think is to get to being whole. We need to go to school. We need to be rappers. We need to get bank loans. We need a better economy. We need black people need to do this. We need to be married. It's the black family. We need to eat vegetables. Plenty of vegetables. Don't eat that shit. It's GMO, nigga. GMO, nigga. GMO. Don't fucking buy from that. That's the white man. All of that bullshit works towards what you believe is the hidden agenda behind the agenda. But the secret agenda is to create a psychological dependency on their system for your transformation. One day, black us are going to do this one day. Police ain't going to be beating us one day. We ain't going to have to march no more. One day you don't have to end. One day there'll be a black vice president, nigga. A woman. One day, nigga. One day, nigga. Even closer, she might be, after 8 years, running for the president. Oh man, what a day, nigga. Nigga, what a day. All of that is the secret agenda to the hidden warfare of the mind control. Stated, hidden, which you're supposed to discover, and secret, which is the true agenda. If you want to see this played out on Prime, there's a TV show called Hustle from the BBC that works with all the basic premises as they explain it to you of mind control and how to get a fish on the hook based upon the ego. So once you give niggas all of this pride about civil rights and what they've done, and this guy who died, John, whatever the fuck his name is, nigga, that you've never heard of before, in Congress, he dies. Ooh, they start pulling out the civil rights tapes and that beating that nigga's ass with a water hose. Oh, nigga, we doing it for the kids. And now you know this nigga. You know why I brought this motherfucker? Oh, yeah. Because you look at it, and they do this whole show on CNN about this 2-hour special on this nigga you ain't never, and maybe you did. Nigga I ain't never heard of. It don't matter. To instill this false sense of pride, to get your ego involved in this shit. Why Black Lives Matter? Let me explain. Even worse than the nigga yelling Black Lives Matter is the nigga that sits back, crosses his legs. Well, Bob, let me explain why Black Lives Matter. That nigga. That comes from the pride of standing on the shoulders of all these civil rights niggas. This is mind control, niggas. It's got y'all fighting in circles for nothing that has to do with anything that walks you to the next level. We are not here to be better humans. We are here to transcend this prison sentence called humanity. This debauchery.
Talk that
called humanity.
sass.
This
Okay.
fucked up shit called passing gas, nigga. You got to graduate, nigga. Otherwise, you're going to enjoy the fruits of the up and down cycles of this place, which are many, which are forever. This ain't it. You're going to come back, That's the crime. Cam was talking about going and not coming back. I refer you to my last lecture. That's what this shit is all about. You got to get your mind right to get out. So, mind you, Trump is the end of the white man. What they're going to do is they're going to let him keep rallying up
Hey, Chucky.
all of those little racist white trash niggas. Let's go back, deep nigger. White trash was always a necessary agent and component for the rich white man. So, when the rich white man finally got to America to set up shop, beating the shit and butt raping everything
Thank you, Dirk.
dark with a pulse to get what's
Appreciate you.
theirs, to make their settlements in Jamestown and eat their old hot cross buns and whatever the fuck they came over here with. When this was set up, fuck that, start talking about this shit. Oh, when this was set up, you had a rich that needed something or a middle ground to interact with these old rowdy, stinkery ass. Somebody had to pass out the smallpox blankets. Somebody had to do it. So the indentured servants of Europe, and I'm sure some fuckos got here, but poor people, how are they making this journey? So they were brought here. And they were brought here with debt. That's why they worked on the plantations too, but their work was to whip your ass. They were called overseers. They got those jobs. And when they got those jobs, it created a divide. Rich, poor whites who were trained to no matter how disgusting or poor they were, never worse than the nigger. You see this in action in the movie Django. You had those overseers who had the dog who killed D'Artagnan in the movie, the character D'Artagnan. And the character who had the dog in his hand, I said, hey, boy, he said, you gotta excuse him. He ain't never seen no nigga on no horse. It perplexes him. They were trying to show you the mentality that, so when it was all said and done, them motherfuckers went to their trailers in the mountains. We started creating these towns. We were surpassing them personally. There's a book called Kings River People. I don't remember who, but it was interesting. It was one of the books that was always in my house because it was about my actual physical family on my father's side. So my father loved to pull out that book and nurture a great, whatever. And it just really told the story first of a great, however many greats ancestor of mine, all the way from Africa, named Coin, who eventually came to America, had kids. No, before she had kids, she was freed because the master's wife was sick. She got her back to health. For that, they gave her freedom and land. She worked it, rocked it, but she married a French man. And Creole, i.e. in the French Quarter of New Orleans. So they had a spot, the Kings River people, that was her land, that was her people. The Kings River people, that was her lineage. And the name was Matoya. So my grandfather was Matoya and left my grandmother. She got remarried. I got my current last name with my step-grandfather. Ironically, my birth grandfather came back into the picture and they got remarried later. And then he passed. But what the fuck that is? It says clearly in the book as I read it as a youth, one of the big problems that the Kings River people had was they were surpassing the white people of that time. And that's a big deal. The system is set up that rich white day to day, than niggers. Now you have this phenomenon because Negroes had all the skills. So once we was getting freedom and pieces of land, we was working that shit, turning that shit to a miracle, feeding whatever and whoever. They were borrowing money from us. This psychologically cannot go. So you have rich whites who employ poor whites to start destroying these towns. Black Wall Street, blah, blah, blah. The shit was depicted in Rosewood, and I'm sure you already know the story and 10 more that I do not know. And this is because the order of the day has to be that pecking order. So what they did, because the individual was starting to take responsibility for himself, gave you the civil rights movement. And it gave you this plight of we all shall overcome. We all get to the mountaintop. Mind you, no one's talking about how we all should hone skills, sharpen skills to create and come together to have something to give and contribute to a functioning system for us all. It turned into, you should allow me to work here too, instead of creating my own coffee or supporting those who create that look like me, my own coffee. It became the most important thing to sit at the counter at Woolworths and make them and have them serve them, to ride on their bus and have them serve you instead of trying to figure and create something else. And I know it's hard, and I know it's probably impossible, and I wouldn't have the solution either. But I damn sure know what we did clearly didn't work either. So, but what it did give me was a lot of pride, a lot of pride. So those white men who were created as the buffer between rich white men and black people are now deemed useless. In this new yuga, was it Shai Yuga, Shai Sayati Yuga, whatever it is, after the Kali Yuga, which is the golden age. They're no longer needed. What do you do with them? You rally them up with behind a Pied Piper, behind some sort of fool. And when this fool draws them all out, it's the death kill. So Trump is going to be that fool. They keep telling you, after this is over, Trump really got it. After this shit is over, watch what happens next. They're talking about creating a news network based upon Donald Trump's propaganda. So they're talking about creating a whole propaganda network that's going to rally with all of them ex-Klan members, skinhead wannabes, whatever new names they call themselves, but the same old reheated goddamn soup. They're going to rally them up, start showing you something. See, they already bombed Nashville. At this point, they haven't named who or whatever group. It's probably them doing. They want to try to pretend they need and always have needed this war that's never going to happen. Black people ain't doing that shit. White people been prepared for this fucking war, this race war. As soon as they come out with guns, either one or two things gonna happen. Shit's gonna turn into gangster shit, and they can't hang it because it's not enough. And though they killed a lot of defenseless animals, black people been killing each other for a long time. All you really need is a reason to shift it. And if they're walking around near neighborhoods doing things, then you'll see where the mind control stops. And they want that because they need a reason for those guys to die. They need a way for those guys to die because what they want to usher in is the new improved illusion of a white man, which is the ultimate con artist, the ultimate con man, the ultimate confidence man, to make you believe that he's an active participant even on your humanity level. He is not. He despises your humanity because he despises his own humanity. They make it normal for them to cut up their ass and their face and their titty, make themselves look like fucking cat people. Because they're insane, they hate themselves. And now niggas hate themselves because they're so busy trying to be white, they absorb their fucking sickness, their psychosis. Donald Trump, ain't nobody surprised. Everyone knows who Donald Trump is. They put him on display because they're trying to put this psychosis borderline, this psychosis frontline in your face. They want you to hate it. They want the world to hate it. They want the world to demonize it. Because they're demonizing that old white man while they give rise to Biden and his cabinet of all rainbows and AIDS to make you psychologically feel you have gone the next step. Obama was step one. Trump, they interrupted a forward-moving step for Negroes. Obama's my president. You mean your President Trump? Then you're gonna not hear about Biden. You're gonna hear about my vice president Camila or Canada. All silly shit. All silly yo-yo games. You gotta get off of all of that and understand the secret agenda of Trump. Now, when you look on Wikipedia, this one is definitely gonna be fast. I don't know if I got any more 5 hours in me. If y'all ain't got it by now, sorry. But we're gonna get to the point. We got that time now. We are in the end of the Kali Yuga. If you went on Wikipedia, we got about 430 something more years. I'm sorry, 430 something thousand more years. No, that's not happening. You can just feel that's not happening. The Kali Yuga is over now. When the lean drop was according to a lean, and I only say that because I haven't searched myself, but I'm sure there's no discrepancy, that we are in the Ethiopian 2012 cycle, which is the true time. And of course, the Mayans say we move to the new world 6, I think they say. And they talk about the cycles as yugas, 4 yugas. The Kali Yuga being the last yuga. And it's looked at as a bull with 4 legs. Kali Yuga, only a quarter of spirituality is left. So it goes in quarters each shift. And we just came out of the worst case scenario for spirituality, moving into now where we are, the best case scenario for spirituality. Meaning, and I am of this opinion, if you are not doing spiritual work, you will get left behind. That is the order of the day. The same way your thug mentality, your hustle, you'll get this money, son. Real niggas do this and real things, nigga. That was a mentality for that time. If you have that mentality in this time, you will fail with Donald Trump. They're trying to show you. Well, they're trying to show white people that guy is no longer for them. That would be their internal argument. Can we still do what we've been doing to these niggas? Fuck all of that cosmic shit. And then those who are saying, oh, no, we need to respect it and work within it. Because if Biden becomes the guy that gives you all these fancy niggas and Indians and Mesoamericans, whatever the fuck he has as his cabinet, you tend to still psychologically give the credit to the white man as the God who gave you this peace of mind, who gave you this diversity. It's up to Biden who gave you this opportunity, who gave you this, finally they let me shine and let us shine. Finally, a white man in office that I always kind of knew they were there. But I'm glad you stop grabbing by the pussy. That kind of shit. Meanwhile, you put up with any of this. What nigga in any context will walk out before he got anything from another group of niggas saying, yeah, when I get through, I'm gonna grab these hoes by the pussy, nigga. Vote me in. Niggas ain't doing that. Then why are you doing it with him? All right. So, how do I know it's the Kali Yuga based upon the spiritual transformation? A big breakthrough happened. Kali actually is the destroyer of the ego, the destroyer of the human shadow. Her cosmic form, as Mahakali, is different versions and there's different contexts of this energy. This energy in this time is used to purge yourself of your hidden self, the animal self that you do not know exists. I was able to see this about myself. Goddamn. I really had the experience when my life flashed before me, and I was able to see myself outside of myself, which is the entire point of this shit. So I finally got to a place where I can clearly see my humanity outside of my personality, my own perspective. Thank you, Khadijah. And I have to thank my sister with some, it was damn near like an intervention, but it hit right. And I was clear. And immediate anger has left. There's nothing that angers me. And it showed I walked around like every one of you in a constant state of rage. Here's the story. One of the greatest shows you could watch, and I binge watched this shit 5 times and didn't see it. After this Collie transformation, some said watch it again. Sopranos. The entire show exploits abuse and rage. It shows through every character how our abuse turns into different forms of anger and how they're expressed. The big deal was Tony. He's the can't say nothing to any, what do you mean? What about every moment? It's a constant state of rage. Then they show how enraged his wife becomes dealing with it. So they show the divine feminine, how she tries to hold it, break it down, becomes the peacemaker. It showed from the daughter and son's perspective their abuse and what they became, how they try to counteract it, how, for instance, Meadow, the daughter, wanted to become a doctor, a healer. Then, after her boyfriend dies, she starts arguing more, defending the family. They always picking on us before she was kidnapped, making jokes about her father being a gangster, shitting all over it, wanting to be a doctor. After this tragedy that brought her back to the family mentality, she was arguing it more, then she wanted to be a lawyer. So they showed how the hero became a lawyer based upon abuse. The son with the black girl, with the suicide attempt, they were just showing his abuse. Paulie was the character. Tough guy, better not, he'll kill you, he's put hands on, what did we gave him, straight goomba. They did an episode where they showed the loneliness of Tony Soprano's uncle Junior versus Paulie's story with talking too much and his loneliness. Somebody said, well, when you live alone, you talk too much. They kept going back between the two stories of Junior in his home. And what they were trying to show you was the tough guy Paulie with no woman becomes the lonely old man that nobody gives a fuck in some home or some institution somewhere. They showed the sister, her path, her greed, her level of abuse. They showed soccer moms, road rage, passive aggressive, the restaurant owner, passive aggressive, smack him in the head. I'm just joking. I mean no harm, but really nudging him because he's aggressive, but he can't take him head on. And they should leave his ass kicked, so that's a reason. Silvio owned the strip club. He was always dressed in the teeth with his hair back. He was representing the abuse that we call pimps. He was running the girls, juicing the girls, controlling the girls. He was a symbolic of the abuse. How do you know this was happening? I'm not making it up. The entire show is based upon his therapy. So I was able to see how they decoded this show, or how they created the show. All they went to was psychiatrists and said, we're making a monster movie. Tell me the personality type of a Tony Soprano. Well, he would have this abuse, his mother this. They tell you on the show, rage, because it starts with him starting having panic attacks and depression. She said constant rage turns into these things. Now I can see her trying to get him to realize the shit and the shit she's saying. Before I was just seeing him banter, look like he's this psychiatrist artist. Truthfully, I was waiting for some more gangster shit to happen. Because I couldn't relate to how they were actually dealing with the human psyche then. I wanted to see the gangster shit. And that's the beauty of that show. Once you realize if all you seen was the gangster shit, not the sadness of all of these sick individuals called America interacting and functioning off of this dysfunction as a normal standard. So I can see it now. Tony's enemies. You know, I'm glad he killed that nigga. Oh, he ran over his head with a car. Yeah, Tony. Now I can see the whole thing is just sad. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude who got his head run over. They showed his path to abuse his way. Very, very interesting if you're trying to study the shadow self for real. I wouldn't have been able to see it if I didn't see my shadow self. And that's what's happening if you fuck with comedy. We see that picture slow down here. Yes, it is. This shit right here, I told you, fell off the wall, indicating her time is over. And it broke, as you can see, here's the glass. And that's absolutely true. But what I missed is telling me that she's here doing this work. This guy is the dead king. He's laid out just like Osiris. She's stepping on his heart. There's different things and different, this stuff has been around so long. If I said that foot, it means this, the right from it means that. Some she has this Kali and Dunction war versus Kali of this. You got plenty of time to do all that shit yourself. The generalized understanding that stuck around is she's destroying a bloodlust that will ultimately reach the end of the cosmos. But her consort, Shiva, lays beneath her feet, and when she sees them, she stops. What she's realized is she got back to the innocence, the child, the pure of heart. That which you didn't need to create the shadow yet, the shadow human. The angry human is the shadow human I create. Like all of us. He's what you call the attitude. Every person that has an attitude has created that attitude to defend themselves. And 9 times out of 10 really might not even know what's happening. You go to Burger King and it's that little bitch behind the counter that you say, oh my God, look at her. Oh, look at her attitude. So she's supposed to ask me, do I want big fries with that? You start remembering the etiquette of McDonald's or Burger King. And she's supposed to give me some napkins, and you didn't ask if I wanted an onion ring sauce. You become that nigga because you're seeing she's already. You didn't do anything. She's already there. Going to that job, which is she interprets as abusive, she's already put on her shadow to protect her. And you do it so much you don't even know you're doing it. You don't even know you have to have walk in the doctor's office with attitude, walk in the Uber with attitude, whatever. Or you can walk in there with a dumbass friendly disposition and still not really dealing with the aggressive feelings you feel. You just learn how to express yourself when the aggression is hidden. But you're still sick and stressed out because the idea is for you to learn for it to never enter you. If you're never mad in the first place, it's not nothing you have to control. So what I learned in the Kali Yuga was this was a shield or a hidden demon in your demon is you, melanin is you, human, demon, melanin, all the same. The demon represents the dark side of yourself that you don't see. Kali is revealing it. This sword is the sword of knowledge. This is the head of ignorance. So by ignorance is to ignore. So for years, I've ignored how still angry I was. Just thinking that's how I roll. Back off, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Give me some room, love. But it's anger. I'm not even angry while I'm doing it. People interpret it as anger because I've been dishing it so angry. It's normal. To be able to see that is what she does. To see that's what's hidden. To see what's scared. To see what you've created in the Kali Yuga to sheathe yourself. Now it's time for you to create a spiritual double, which is light. The dark double has been ruling. If you need an example of how this is exploited, Love and Hip Hop, turn it on. You will see how psychiatrists develop that show to show and pick personality types, different angry personality types, whereas inconvenience, the perceived notion of disrespect, any minor irritation, you'll have a drink thrown in your face. They want that. They want that shadow self, that spitting, that animal self. That's what you're waiting for in the show. In fact, you're taught and get more airtime if you do shit like that. That's because that rules in the Kali Yuga. If you're participating in shit like this, if you are still getting off on shit like this, it's satisfying something in you. It's satisfying your anger Jones. You're angry, nigga. And if you can't watch it, most people can't watch it, and then they give you a whole speech of how much better they are. It's just another form of your ego. What I do is recognize why we are there and don't judge it for good or better. Just know that it's done. Know that it's done. Know that it's not being dictated by white people. They're running around this. We running. And it's our turn. Let your nuts hang. It's cold out here when your nuts hang. You can do that. It's your turn. But your turn is conducive to what is true in your heart. They can't stop. You just have to realize it's not them who dictate. It's you. It's them pretending to dictate. And you absolutely following and listening, thinking this is the order of the day. It is not. Here's where they're trying to bring you. Oh, I cannot, before I move on, I cannot stress this enough. We are, and again, it doesn't state it, and they also, there's a Kali who's a demon associated with time. And they kind of say it's not the goddess Kali that's associated with time. I found plenty of books that associate time. Kali is time. And it's in the time, she gives you the mastery over it. So in terms of time and Kali, as a goddess of time, again, I told you I can see my entire life as one understanding now. I don't see it as a long time ago. I can see the same argument I'm having with Khadijah is the same argument I had in the studio with my man Prince. That is not them. It's them challenging a shadow of me, and I'm still defending it with him. And all the way up today, 20, 25 years later, I'm defending the same thing with Khadijah. It's not Prince, it's not Khadijah, it is I. So once I let go of the argument, let go of the little boy weapon that I was trained to build up, anger, fear, anger. And understand that the face of Kali, is the face of anger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. All right. I'm just counting our heads. Yeah, this is a fierce ass picture. And there's different things. Also, you could look at him laying in the cusp. Her, as you can see, the sun behind her head, and him laying, and it could be a part of that up in the cusp moment. Remember, you rest in peace. So if she was in chaos, cutting off heads, that could have been the chaos of the magnetosphere that we talked about. And then in the cusp, where you rest in peace, this could be that moment of resting in peace. As you can see, the sun is behind her head. And in here, they're just talking about transformation in the cusp. What I'm here to tell you is, you don't have to die to get up in the cusp. But once I understood in thorough detail the transformation process, so much so, again, those are my last lectures, it's like the process has been happening without me leaving the body. So in other words, when I do decide to make the transition, shit is already pre-ordered. This portion of transformation in the DNA has happened. I'm releasing this character called Brother Panic. He's got to go. He was always and always a product of this place. Always. I am now at peace. I clearly, absolutely, and understand what she's testing here. Right here, with her foot on his heart. She's testing to see if his heart is lighter than the feather. She's testing to see what is in that man's heart. She's using her root to pull from him to see what's in there. If she can perform her transformation, get rid of the shadow, the humanity, get rid of the shadow, the ignorance of humanity. Oh, Kalima. Oh, Mahakali. Do I love you? She came through like a motherfucking thief in the goddamn night. I literally could see the asshole timidity of myself. And the motherfuckers want to comment. That's true, Kelly. You was an asshole. that nigga was an asshole. Oh yeah, man. But you was though. I get it. So what? Fuck it. That's, you need to understand, everyone's an asshole here. Just because you're a sweeter asshole, you're an asshole nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? Body pussy, I hope the asshole is sweet. It's the next door neighbor. Because if the asshole stink, then that says a lot about what we're doing here. You all stink. And I'm recognizing my stink. That's the trick, though. Others recognize your stink and tell you all the time, oh, I hope you got a good woman. Don't lie. How many arguments have you got in? And she said the same thing about you. You don't never listen. You don't never do this. You always do that. No one can say nothing to you. This is what you talking about. Just say it. What do you mean? You can't see. Just decided to shut it all down. All defenses. Shut down your defenses. And who better to do it to than Khadijah? By the way, a good class to take is Khadijah's chakra workshop, I think it's called. She has 2 chakras. She has 3 or 4 classes. There's chakra spinning and a chakra workshop. She told me, I think it's the chakra workshop, but ask her first. That speaks towards this. Go see her at Somdi Sameedireadings.com. SAMEDIREADINGS.com. Or go to Occult Lectures and you can click to her from me, join classes, my classes. You can also get joint consultations. Her and I are doing those together. Those are working out well, and ironically enough, as though we go into spirituality, because you get to ask the questions you want to ask, I find we dealing more niggas human issues, helping people to let that shit go, deal with it, abuse. And for the first time in the last 2 years, I've been dealing square, ideally, with this abuse. I gotta give a shout out to my Dukes. It's the poison and the cure. My pops took that picture, so my mom says no thought. And of course that's in mine. But he's been coming through more than just I see in the ancestors. Very detailed. Technically, because of my mother's dysfunction, is why we ended up where we are. I don't think we blamed our mother. There was times